Hi folks, MT Links here. This is what I affectionately call my Book of Doom, and I'm going to walk you through my planning for the first week of March. This is where I keep all my project works, my health metrics, my life goals, my book goals, my business goals, and so I'm just going to take you along with me as I'm planning for the first week of March. And I know this is posting on like the 4th, but here we go. So anyway, because I had to get all this planned first and filmed and edited. So first thing I do for every page that's part of the week is I put the date with to do when I'm keeping my tasks. I list my body metrics. I'm not going to be actually showing you metrics here, and I also put 5 little water droplets so I can track my hydration. Those round to be about full drinks, like 8 ounces or more, sometimes liters if I'm going with bottles of water. And just be aware that I also track like my direct measurements, my body fat percentage, and my average calories in and out. So I know lots of people don't do that, but I'm going after very specific data as I'm trying to change my body composition a bit. So, and overall be healthier. So now I'm just going to repopulate that out across the rest of the week. And so I sped this up right here to get this all taken care of quickly for you. And then we can get on to the next segment for this. I include everything in my little Book of Doom, as I like to call it, and that, listen, health metrics, sleep metrics, step metrics, because I am trying to do 10,000 or more steps in a day, and by gosh, that can take up a lot of time if you're not paying attention. In addition to running martial arts, and I'm doing that very specifically because my job is very sit demanding, if you will, very stationary, because I am almost always in front of a computer on multiple computer screens or multiple computers at one time when I'm working on anything from my day job to game development to writing to editing to voiceover work. When I'm sitting there in front of a microphone and I can't spend tons of time standing, I have to make myself stop, and it's hard to do that when I'm in a flow state. So at the end of every week, I actually list, which I'm writing here, a week review, sorry. And I'm actually looking at what fluctuation has happened with my weight, what fluctuation has happened with my measurements, which assume you note all that down. I said I'm not going to show you any data, and if that's kind of stuff that triggers you, just be aware. But I'm not showing any data here, and I'm not showing any judgment one way or the other. There's no judgment associated with this. This is simply for me to track trends with raw data, because I'm very data driven as an engineer and a project manager. Also, I track from a productivity standpoint. I track how many shorts I'm able to post, how many long videos I'm able to post. I'm trying to get better about pre-batch recording things and then uploading them in groups so that I can upload ahead of time, so that I'm not just like constantly trying to get stuff out, because if I don't, the algorithm doesn't like me and you don't get to see these fun things. But anyway, I also am tracking like how many projects I'm completing, because I set myself different projects per month and per week. So overall high level projects for the month, and then weekly milestones to get those things done. I'm also checking, how many out of 70,000, assuming I did about 10,000 each day for steps, how many did I actually average out? What percentages was that? Remember, I'm a data nerd, so I love that. And then again, I like productivity analysis and efficiency analysis just for myself. And what I'm doing here, and if you don't like to see people kind of freehand their lines, if you like to see planners and sketchbooks and things where everything's beautifully delineated out and using rulers and all these special little symbols, you're not going to find that here. I like to do these freehand because it allows my brain to accept that things are going to be imperfect once in a while, and that helps me get more comfortable with things not being perfect all the time, because I've got a bit of a perfectionist streak and it drives me absolutely nuts when things are not perfect. So I do this for a reason. But anyway, what I do is here I've got each day has 4 blocks associated with it essentially. And what I do is each one's about 25%. So when I'm actually doing my task analysis at the end of the day or the next day for the previous day, I will color code different colors of whether or not the task got completed or not. If it's kind of a blue purple if it was completed. I mean, even if it wasn't 100%, if I did the task I said I was going to do, it's completed. If I missed it because I ran out of time, I ran out of energy, whatever, it's highlighted in orange, kind of a peachy orange color. And if it was cancelled for whatever reason or pushed off to another day, then it's simply scratched through. And I will put some pictures in here so you can see towards the end, so stay tuned for that. So you can see what a day looks like where it's 100% complete for me and what a day looks like when I got very little done. And I'll just take pictures of previous data in there. Unfortunately, for me, the reason I'm doing this way very specifically, I'm also including tracking my average sleep time and my average sleep score. And if that the reason you've got completion there out of 700%, so I'm assuming 7 days at 100%. And what I'm doing there is simply analyzing what level of efficiency I'm able to track. Again, I'm looking for raw data about myself, my own habits, and my capability, because there's some days, to be very blunt with you, I've got so much going on in life as an author, as a businesswoman. When things don't go right with the business or with my creative work, as a game dev, as an engineering project manager, and then trying to get healthier, trying to spend time with family, and I've got 4 cats to keep up with, it's quite a lot. And no more than anybody else, but for me, it's quite a lot. And there are days when I just don't have the energy to keep up with all of it. So what I'm trying to do with all of this raw data is to be able to look back and say, okay, I ran out of energy on these days. How was I feeling? Was I healthy? I see I only completed 30% to 40%. I did amazing. I completed 100%. So in here I'm looking, this is my overall projects for March. I want to complete and finalize Project Egocious 2 manuscript. I'm very excited about that. And have it available next month for the Spring Book Bash with the Creative Slingers Event Group. I'm very excited for that. Be releasing then. That is the plan anyway. I also want to get Project Egocia's Playtest 2 published at the end of this month. We are on track for that, so very excited. I also want to attend one book event at the end of this month up in Greenville. Still waiting for that to be confirmed. And I want to get spring cleaning done this month. I want to have a clean and calm and organized home area. So those are my overarching projects for this month. And then my goals, and this is the overarching goals, is I want to track all my input and output from my calories, all my calories that I've consumed and the calories I've burned. I also want to track my overall body fat percentage. Again, I am looking to kind of change my body composition a little bit. So when I'm doing, and I'm doing this with the Hume, I've got the Hume armband and the Hume scale. And no, this is not sponsored, but I find it's very, very helpful. So I'm looking at that a couple of times a week, at least 4 times a week. I want to lose 5 pounds this month for my total body carriage, not water weight, my total actual carriage. So that's one of the things I'd like to do. I want to run, I think it was 50 miles this month, if I remember correctly. And overall, I know that's a lot of running on top of everything else I'm doing, and there are some days I simply don't have the energy for it. But this is a goal. It's a little bit of a stretch goal for me. I know, especially as a runner, that's really not that much, but I've decided to actively defer training for another marathon until the fall. So for right now, it's not that much, but it keeps me moving. And I also want to do 9 Bang Muay Thai classes. So those are my overarching goals for March. And so from here, I'm actually going to break into the individual week goals. And so what I'm doing is I'm looking at the overarching goals and seeing how those can be broken down into individual tasks. So for this week. Right, so one of the things I want to do this week for the spring cleaning process is I really want to clean the laundry room. It's a right mess, and it has been this way for several months, and it really just needs a bit of love, a bit of organization. Go in, clean things out, get rid of empty soap bottles and whatnot. Give the floor a good scrub, give the drain sink a good scrub, use some vinegar to clean the inlet for the washer, and vacuum the dryer pretty well, and just make sure the cupboards are sorted and proper, and anything that's old, outdated needs to go from like a product aging standpoint. And I want to get chapters 1 through 4 for Project Agosha 2 finalized and edit. I want to build all of the playtest to Project Agosha Origins landscape. That's building the actual physicality of the landscape in Unreal Engine. And then from the overall goals for this week, excuse me, I want to reduce my overall carriage by 2 pounds, do 2 Bang Muay Thai classes, and run 10 miles. So now you're looking at how I break down my big projects and big goals into individual weekly bites that I can chew on things here, and just kind of whittle it down so that I get things done, but it's not overwhelming for me. So let's just jump right into how I throw everything together in one page per day. So for Monday, I want to edit and upload and schedule all the 3 more words you probably didn't know pop quiz videos for the rest of March. I want to run 3 miles, and I need to refill all the cat food because my Chewy delivery got delivered. I need to also review that Chewy setup for the auto delivery because frankly I've got probably 5 cases of cat food that is going to last us quite a while. I need to just back off of that and then just have them send me the vitamin supplements and the dry food, the specialty dry food, because one of my cats has a bit of a thyroid concern, so she needs that support food, but all the other cats adore it too, so everybody just gets it. And also I want to do, so I'm planning some more actual art for the Bluefy anime characters, I'm doing some more specific pictures, and that's, I need to sketch the heart fingers for Rose V, do the outline for that. I also want to get 10,000 steps in for the day, and I've got issues with Audible right now. Nothing that we can't sort out, I'm sure, but apparently some of the algorithms that people are using think I sound like an algorithm, or an AI, which is not. This is my voice. I joked with Mandy Jo from Creative Slingers Inc. in my interview, which posts on Tuesday, so tomorrow. Very excited about that. That of course, by the time this video posts, it will already been a day back. But it's very flattering to be considered that my voice sounds like AI. I think that means that they're training AI on my voice. Anyway, it is what it is. Anyhow, so I'm just going to go in and start building out my schedule for the rest of the week. And this is not in any way time related specific, like I don't have to do certain things during the day. I mean, it helps if I'm checking my body metrics for that day to check it in the morning before I have a meal, before I kick into high gear drinking a bunch of coffee and whatnot. So for Tuesday I've got a kickboxing class there, and I've also planning. Oh, I also need to pay my bills, and I need to get that specifically. I've got some things that it's just the time of the month when it's due. I also need to set I need to identify the next schedule events and make sure I've got them listed. Also, now I need to look at and review business emails. I always do that on Tuesdays. And take a look. I've got literally thousands of business emails that hit me, and they tend to hit me in cycles in each week. So I also need to send out my editing emails tomorrow. That's one of the big things. So I've got people who are looking for edits and looking for things to be done. So I'll have to work on them on Tuesday, make sure that all the information is provided to them. Alright, for Wednesday. Now, Wednesday is a bit of complex day for me because it falls right between both of my kickboxing classes, and sometimes I will take Wednesday off, especially if I'm feeling exceptionally sore or my knees or back are giving me an issue. So sometimes I will just take Wednesday off from any real workouts, and I give myself permission to not always get those 10,000 steps, to be honest. If my body's really hurting and I need to take a break, I give myself permission to just take a break and rest, although it drives my brain nuts. So on Wednesday, I will be uploading and scheduling this video, and I'm going to record. So I've had people tell me that a lot of my art looks like it is AI, generative AI. It is not. I draw all this stuff by hand on my iPad. So that's why you'll see me occasionally post the time lapses. It's not a total time lapse, because that would literally take me hours, and you'd be watching me very slowly move through hours. And sometimes if I'm filming myself at the same time, I have to you have to speed things up just to make it so it's like a short. So you get a quick short speed lapse of me putting these drawings together. So I want to film that both with the computer and looking at me. So I need to also look at, and I had a couple of people request refunds from one of my books, and I do understand that that's a bit of a problem. I'm going to process the refunds. That's not the problem. What's frustrating for me is the post office said, or the post said that those books were delivered, and these people want refunds. So, because they said they didn't get them, and I believe them if they said they didn't get them, because we had all kinds of issues with the post, and then there was all kinds of weather issues, and I got the confirmation it was delivered. They're saying they not got it. I'm going to have to go back to the post office and see if they're doing any sort of, I mean, these weren't shipped with specialty insurance or anything, so I'm going to have to go back and see if I can do any insurance on that, get any refund on that for me, because I'm a small business. I mean, I'm now out the money and the entire box and everything, but I mean, I'm going to choose to believe they said they didn't get it. And one of them actually left me a negative review on that, and I was like, I am not in charge of that, but I do understand you're frustrated. I am too, so we'll take care of it. Anyhow, I also put all of my my chores on this. So on the 5th, which is a Thursday, So I'm going to look at body metrics again on this. So you'll see I'm looking at a couple of specific measurements I'm looking to take. Now I do a full body measurement on the app I'm using, but I like to just track the numbers here very specifically. And on Thursday I've got another kickboxing class, so I need to get that out of the way. I also want to do 10,000 steps, and I'm really enjoying the kickboxing class, although I am fighting my own body because I did a different martial art for many years. So I'm having to learn a new protocol, which is very interesting because I'm constantly trying to outsmart my brain. My body wants to do something different, specific, but we'll get there, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really great. The teachers are all very wonderful, and the class, all my class members are very patient and very kind, so I'm having a grand time learning this. I also need to start doing prepping for taxes. I've got all my raw data. Again, I'm a data nerd, but I need to sort it out in my spreadsheet and track all of my expenses for the last year from a business standpoint and break them out into specific categories that the IRS likes to see, so that I can track that and have all the data there, easily accessible in every case there's ever any question. Also, I need to get my plan drawings for, again, I'm trying to batch all of the videos and shorts and stuff for the month, first week of the month, and kind of have it all preloaded ahead of time. So that is what I'm working on here. Get all of the Adventures of Bluefy comic reels for March sketched and uploaded on Thursday, and then I've got a bunch of art slides printed for Rosefy, and I need to cut those out and then build them with the cardboard backer and into their individual sleeves to take to my next shows. So that's what I'm noting there. Also, I need to work on 30, I've got some dance videos on YouTube, and there's not just dance videos, there's step videos. I believe it's Get Fit with Rick on there, and he's incredibly fun to watch, and the videos are very low impact, so for right now I'm enjoying that. So a 30-minute dance video. Also, I've remembered that I want to record the last two. I've already got the majority of the Fairy Tales to Fall Asleep Fast voiceover work done, but I need to record 2 more and get those uploaded and scheduled for March, so that all that's already preloaded and waiting on me. I forgot to have that on Wednesday, so I'll be doing that Wednesday as well. And then throwing in some chores in there on my list of things to do. I want to clean my bookshelf. I need to pull everything out, dust it down, give it a good spritz. Again, we're just taking little steps to do the spring cleaning for the month. And next up on Thursday, I will be answering business emails. So after reading, and I have to pass out all of the marketing junk, because between game dev, books, comics, merchandise, plushies, audiobooks, voice acting, everything else, editing, I have so much marketing spam. It's over 2,000 different emails in there. That's just pure spam, and that's just my business account. That's not even my personal accounts or my professional accounts. So it's very easy for stuff to get lost. So I'm going to spend some time on Thursday, just absolutely clean out the business emails, answer what needs to be answered, trash everything else, unless it's something that's interesting, worthwhile to keep, like from notations of upcoming scheduled events or inquiries about voice acting or editing work. But that one, yeah, I'm kind of frustrated about the business email. It's giving me anxiety every time I look at that number. It is getting close to 4 figures, so I need to address that. And A lot of it's frustrating because it's just spam, and I know it's spam, but that makes it difficult. And I've got a very good spam filter too, so there we are. So also I want to work on some more word bite videos for March, get those. I've already batch filmed that, get them uploaded and scheduled. I want to get back into doing grammar and word bite videos specifically, not just the word, bet you didn't know these words, but the actual history and linguistic fascinations behind the words as well. So that's back on the table. It's coming soon. I just need to get everything passed up, loaded up, edited up, and uploaded. Right, for Friday, so again, planning on 10,000 steps. I want to run 3 miles. Now, I actually have an onboard continuous glucose monitor that helps me check my blood sugar spikes because I was very, very, very insulin resistant a couple of years ago, and I'm actively working despite a gnarly sweet tooth. I'm working to eat healthier, bring my sugar spikes down, and consistently reading that back tells me what foods I'm very sensitive to. If I'm not getting enough protein, I tend to notice my spikes tend to be a bit bigger. So, and when I eat my protein also affects that. Your mileage may vary there, but it's been amazingly helpful to me, and they last about 2 weeks, roughly 14 days. And you get a little bit of a day grace period, but I try not to get too deep into that. So I get to change my sensor on Friday. Planning the next Dungeons & Dragons module for my outline for the next game, getting that organized and kind of listed out what I want to work with, what's going to happen next. Pretty sure none of my D&D crew watch these videos, so I can tell you it's going to be very gnarly coming up. I'm looking forward to that. My jewelry shelf where I put like jewelry, rings, earrings, my necklaces, whatnot, it's gotten, again, very messy up there in the last couple of months. So part of the spring cleaning, I want to clean and organize that. And then all the data that I've passed the last couple of days, I want to update my tax software. I've got another art slides that I need to go ahead and cut them out of the cardstock. They're already printed and ready to roll, and I need to put them in sleeves and backing. So I'm planning on doing this on Friday, because I try not to do too many of those different ones on the same day because it's a lot of cutting and very tedious work. But it's great to watch YouTube videos or just listen to music while I'm doing that. I also want to work on building episode 6 of the Indolian Echoes and schedule that for distribution. Then probably towards the end of the day, the latter third of the day, I will start building out some audio files. I've got some voiceover and voice acting work. I need to go ahead and work on that a little bit. And then I'm going to work on building some of the landscape for Project Gosha Origins. And in advance, in preparation for that, I need to watch some tutorials on caves. I've watched stuff already. I've built a bit of a cave working out, but honestly, I think I can do a little bit more practice before I go ahead and start building it for real. So on Friday, I'm going to build the landscape extents and start putting the boundaries in place so that you can't just run off the end of the map. And get that all prepped up and get the files tree set up so that I can see exactly how I want that landscape and that environment to be, because it's going to be different than the first playtest. It's going to be a completely different landscape. Alright, had to take a drink of water there, sorry, talking too much. My mouth got dry. For Saturday, alright, I want to run 4 miles. Again, I've got 10,000 steps listed in there. I've got my water notation, and I will be checking both calories in and calories out for Saturday. Saturday is going to be really, really busy because I've got a lot of things to do. I will be spending a lot of time in front of my computer. So, first things first, and I put the run on there first, but to be honest, it will not be the first thing I do. I will probably do that run later on in the afternoon, around 4 or 5 o'clock. I need to flesh out the town area and the caves and the cliffs and the grasslands and the woods. um, and quite frankly, the ocean area for playtest 2. So I will spend probably all morning purely working in Unreal, getting assets pulled in, getting things set up and populating the blueprints so that things load like they're supposed to. And that reminded me because I have not looked at an ocean tutorial in a hot minute. My light turned off there, I just turn that back on. So I put a note in there for Thursday to go ahead and review an ocean tutorial again, just to make sure I know what I'm working on and get myself some additional prep work ahead of time for that. So pretty much all morning I'm going to be working in Unreal Engine, just pure building for playtest 2. And I'm making notes to myself. I want to do screen captures of the coding, so I'll need to have my screen recorder on, and that gets a little complicated because I have a multi-monitor setup, so I need to be basically recording the whole thing. And then I have to have my camera set up so it can also record me, because that's how I do some of the side-by-side videos. So that gets fun, especially that's going to be very big recording files. Those videos are going to be massive. It's going to take a lot of editing down. So as a palette cleanser, after I'm done with all that, I'm going to knock out 2 C# programming modules. I'm trying to get my certification for that. And then we're into chores. I'm going to clean the bathroom, vacuum the floors, mop the floors. The snails are overdue a good scrub down of their enclosure, so I've got to pull all the snails out, all the stuff out, get a steam hot rag and wipe down their enclosure, and then spray it all down, put everything back in. There's my notation in there for the cat food. I want to go and redo the cat food tower where I've got all the little foods and vitamins and snacks and everything in it, and I want to clean that up. And I need to that's a reminder in there to fix the auto ship, take the cases of kitten food off there for a couple of months, and so let that stock dwindle down on our end. Here's my notation to clean the flooring of the laundry room, organize and organize the bottles and laundry soap, and clean the cabinets and everything, and then mop the floor, give the floor a really good scrub down, and bleach and clean the sink in there, and then use vinegar to clean and rinse out the washer soap dispenser thing. So Sunday, you would think this is, sorry, I'm losing my voice. That voice acting does come with a cost. You would think that Sunday is the day of rest, but there is no rest for the industrious here. So this is going to be a little more laid back than Saturday, but it's still going to have quite a bit to do, because on the docket, I want to do some laundry. Again, 10,000 steps, calories in, calories out, tracking all of that every day. So doing all the laundry and then putting away the laundry. So that tends to be my nemesis. I have no problem getting the laundry done. It is getting it put away that gets to me. So I'm listing it to make sure it's a trackable item in my schedule to do. Then I need to build and upload all the Paw Wars videos for the month. That is the plan for that. Now Sunday's video is already prepped and loaded. That will be one of the fairy tales to fall asleep fast. So you'll see Paw Wars starting next week again, very likely on Saturday. So that's what I'm working on there. Then I want to build and upload all the coding videos from the landscape work I did on the day before. So again, those video files are going to be massive, so that's a lot of just sitting in the chair in front of all the monitors, editing. That's so much fun. And then once I get that, upload and schedule them. Finally, I'm going to add in a line item that I want to spend some time reading. I've got 4 or 5 non-programming books that have just kind of stacked up on me. I say 4 or 5 because I'm halfway through one of them, so I say 4.5. and I want to just put a line item in there to spend some time and just read and enjoy the pleasure of reading. Some of them are fiction books, some of them are non-fiction, and they're just as enjoyable to read, honestly. Then I put a list to pack my bags for Monday. I want to go ahead and get a jump on the week ahead, so having everything pre-packed and ready to go, so when I can just grab my bag and walk out the door Monday morning on my way to work. Then finally, I want to update the MT Links website. It's well overdue for a cleanup, get the current events back up on there, and just do a little housekeeping and update things. And then probably later on at night, before I get ready to do too much else, go to bed, I will finalize the Project Agosha 2 chapter edits and get them locked into the final manuscript that I will submit for Project Agosha 2. So that is the plan for that. And I forgot here, I wanted to go back and update the March week 1 goals to note that I very specifically wanted to track all my calories for that week. And it seems a little redundant to put it in the overall goals and then also put it specifically in the week 1 goals. And I'll put that back in week 2 and week 3 and week 4 again. But I want to make sure that I'm reminding myself that this is important to me. Having this data is necessary. And for that, I have to remind myself I'm doing this for a reason. And then here, one of the things I need to do is go back and unpack all of my inventory from the Dreamers and Readers debacle, the event that got cancelled. So right now I just have a bunch of boxes and packed shipping crates and everything in the back room, so I need to go back and take care of that and get that unpacked and ready to roll for other events. So now you've seen how I plan for the first week of March, and when we do this again next week, so I've committed to do this for 4 weeks to show you how I run things, I will actually show you real data, what worked, what didn't, and what my efficiencies are. So stay tuned for next week's planning and analysis session. And now you know. I'll see you next time.